Thank you, Konami, for the review code. Appreciate ya. It was Maya Angelou who once said, "If you don't know where you've come from, you don't know where you're going." Earlier in 2022, the smash hit Shredder's Revenge was developed by Tribute Games and published by Dimatu. It was a stark nod to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games of old that most gaming parents fondly remember today. It had touches of the 1991 arcade game in Turtles in Time while adding modern commodities like control scheme and graphics. To know where the Turtles are going, you have to remember where the Turtles came from. And Konami is celebrating their gaming journey with the Cowabunga collection. 14 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games spanning 5 consoles are available at your fingertips. Is this game a faithful nod to the TMNT video games that we grew up with, or are you in for a mighty shell shock? My name is Pizzel56X, better known as Pez for 3 Dads and a Console, and this is my review of Konami's Cowabunga collection.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles hold a special place in my heart. I was born at the right time when the Turtles cartoon was a mega hit in 1987 and ran for 9 years before its final episode in 1996. During that time, the Ninja Turtles had a slew of video games and movies that only solidified their place in American pop culture. I'm going to review this game differently than I've reviewed most. Since we're talking about a collection that spans 5 different consoles, that being arcade machines, NES, SNES, Game Boy, and Sega Genesis, I want to focus more on the emulation of the game rather than sound, graphics, frame rate, etc. To do this, we'll give a quick synopsis of the game itself, followed by how it runs. And let's start where it all began, in 1989 with the TMNT arcade machine. Starting June 1989, arcades around the country began to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cabinets pop up. This 4-person action-adventure side-scrolling game lets you take control of one of the turtles and fight your way through the Foot Clan to rescue April O'Neil. This is one of 4 games that has online functionality, where you can create lobbies where up to 4 players can play. This is the arcade game that you remember playing in Chuck E. Cheese, in any of those arcade areas. It is a faithful recreation, and it is one that you will enjoy over and over and over again. Paired with the release of the arcade game was a home console version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Unlike the arcade version, this game is a single-player affair where you individually control each turtle. If the cover isn't a giveaway, this game is more faithful to the comic book version of the Turtles. While you'll see references to the show, including the different eye wraps around the turtles, the enemies in this game closely resemble ones you see in the comic books. This game is notoriously hard due to janky NES control and slowdowns due to NES hardware, the amount of enemies on the screen, and the dreaded underwater level where you have to disarm bombs while trying to avoid electric seaweed. The emulation is perfect to the NES cart, but that is not a good thing. As I have mentioned, slowdown in this game is heavily prevalent. You can see some of it on my screen as I allow this playthrough to play. Either way, this is the game you remember popping into your NES. And with the success of the NES game came Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan on Game Boy. It's a Game Boy game. In fact, I'm going to cover all the Game Boy games right now. They're Game Boy games. Play them if you'd like. They're black and white, and it's like playing a Game Boy. The emulation's great, but it's a Game Boy game. End of story. The home port of 1991's arcade game hit the NES in 1992. It was the first time home console players could play with another friend, team up, and save April and Leo from Shredder and the Foot Clan. It is, again, the game that you remember playing in 1992 in your bedroom on your NES. There is a little bit of slowdown. The music is the same. The play is the same. Konami has done a great job emulating these games. After success of the 1991 arcade game comes the Ninja Turtles' most famous game, Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time was released in arcades in 1991 and on the SNES in 1992. Turtles in Time's emulation is perfect, as is most of the emulation in this game. The arcade version of Turtles in Time also has online functionality, but at the time of this writing, I was not able to find a lobby. Both the arcade and SNES version included in this package have local multiplayer. In 1991, a third TMNT game was released on NES. This game was much in the same vein as TMNT 2, the arcade game, side-scrolling beat-em-up that featured new special attacks for the Turtles. This game, unlike TMNT 2, has two modes. One allows the player to hurt one another with attacks, while the other doesn't. Sega's first TMNT was released in 1992 and, while not the same as Turtles in Time, for its console counterpart, Hyperstone Heist had the same animations and reused some of the same stages. Finally, we have our last slate of games that I'm going to talk about as a collective, and that would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter. The Turtles were primarily known for their side-scrolling video games. Every game we've talked about up to this point has been a side-scrolling action-adventure where 1 to 4 players could pick their favorite turtle and fight against the Foot Clan. Tournament Fighters, though, jumped on the back of the Mortal Kombat / Street Fighter popularity by releasing 3 versions of the game, one on NES, one on Super Nintendo, and the other on Sega Genesis. Tournament Fighters has never been my jam, as I'm an old-school Turtle fan that just wants to pair up with a friend or a few friends and run across stages and fight together instead of fighting each other. However, all 3 games play as well as you would expect them. The SNES and Genesis versions of this game play a lot better than the NES versions of this game, but they're not the competent fighters you'd expect in general, where Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat reign supreme. One of the coolest features included in this release is the Turtle Lair. So the Turtle Lair has everything from boxes. You can see them on the screen right now. Game boxes of every game that is released in this collection, to game manuals. All the game manuals, both US and Japan, are there. Ads and catalogs, so anything that Konami or Ultra has put out, including a press release from 1988. So they have included everything that they have done with the Turtles. It is an incredible throwback to see what the Ninja Turtles have kind of started with and what they've progressed through. Comic book covers of almost every run done by Eastman and Laird. Animated shows. You can actually see stills of the game. Stills of the show. It is an excellent nostalgic trip that other collections like Mario 3D All-Stars didn't do very well at all. Music, behind the scenes looks. And now that we've discussed the full package of this game, let's talk recommendation. Unlike other reviews, we don't score games at 3 dads at a console. If every game is a 9 or a 10, then no games are a 9 or a 10. Instead, we look through the lens of a parent who may have limited gaming time. We try to answer 2 questions. 1, is this game worth your time? 2, is this a game that you can play in front of your child without feeling any embarrassment? Let's get the easy one out of the way. Yes, play it in front of your child. Play it with your child. It's a fun, cartoony beat 'em up, and based on the age of your kid, you can even have them join you. The arcade games have almost unlimited lives, with pressing start will be like pumping quarters into the machine and just fill you up with lives. The harder question to answer is this game worth your time? Is it worth your time? Probably. It's a fantastic nostalgic flashback to the games we loved growing up, even if you didn't play them growing up. Some of these games are incredible throwbacks to when side-scrolling beat-em-ups were in their heyday. When you listen to someone in their, I'm going to say 30s to 40s talk about arcade machines, it is usually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons, X-Men. Those are in my estimation, the heyday of side-scrolling beat-em-up arcade games. My biggest gripe about this package is the price point. At $40, you receive a 14-game package that may have 2 or 3 games with actual replayability. Outside of the arcade game, outside of Turtles in Time, and possibly the Hyperstone Heist because it's a little different than Turtles in Time. Some of these games may not even be played. The Game Boy games, the Tournament Fighter games, may not even be worth your initial time. You may try them out and just say, you know what, not for me. Personally, I would wait for a sale. While most of these games are a fun romp through the video game history of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, once your initial playthrough is done, what is left? And for that reason only, I am not going to recommend this to you at full price. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel for more Parent Gamer focused content, and watch the podcast live every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on YouTube. Once again, my name is Pizzel56X, better known as Pez, and thank you for joining me. Have yourself a beautiful day.